consumers, particularly vulnerable consumers. In particular, it has failed to properly protect consumers from mis-selling of financial products and preventing irresponsible lending practices which have left so many vulnerable families in debt. It has failed to deal with the high prices of goods and services, particularly electricity and telecommunications. It has failed to tackle the self-regulation of some professions. The record of Fianna Fáil in the area of consumer rights and protection is abysmal. They have pandered and caved in to the powerful invested interests such as bankers, builders, while hanging the ordinary citizens and consumers out to dry with inflated prices and poor services. Labour will deliver a coherent consumer policy which will better protect and empower consumers in this time of recession and economic hardship. At this point, I want to thank the very many members who have responded to my request for input into this policy area. We will deliver policies and actions to ensure that consumers get what they have paid for and can secure redress easily and quickly when things go wrong. There is no doubt but that we need an overhaul of regulation in this country. Regulation in Ireland has failed us. This government has created an alphabet soup of regulators. We have a financial regulator, an energy regulator, communications regulator, an aviation regulator, a taxi regulator, and so on. We have plenty of regulators, but as we know to our cost, we have very little real regulation. We believe that the functions of many of these agencies and regulators could be merged, which would save money for the Exchequer in these difficult times and at the same time bring benefit to the consumer. For the individual consumer, the advantage of one single regulator would be that there would be one point of contact for queries and complaints. Labour would ensure that a slimmed-down regulation regime would put the needs of consumers at the top of the agenda, rather than being the afterthought it seems to be today. The single regulator could have powers of compulsion, just like the financial regulator. We need to see an end to self-regulation, in particular in relation to the professions. We are great at giving rights to consumers, but poor when it comes to informing them of their rights and assisting them to secure those rights. I believe that all businesses, traders, retail outlets and indeed websites where consumers purchase products and services should be required to prominently display a list of key consumer rights. Even where consumers know their rights, if they seek a remedy or make a claim, they face barriers of access, effectiveness and affordability. Therefore, we need to look at ways of assisting consumers to get redress. The Small Claims Court allows individual consumers to seek remedies in an inexpensive and swift manner, but it doesn't suit every situation. There are other things we could and should do. We should examine the possibility of greater use of alternative dispute resolution procedures, where consumers could take their complaints prior to taking the legal route. We should explore the introduction of a group action procedure in Ireland. Group actions are growing in popularity across Europe. 14 of the 27 member states of the EU have this procedure available to their citizens. As in so many other instances, this government has hived off responsibility for consumer rights and protection to a range of agencies with little political leadership, control or oversight. Labour will change that. Chairman, just conclusion. We will ensure that there is a clear political accountability for consumer rights and protection in any future government in which we participate. Now, this may require a junior ministry, but that's for a discussion another day. Finally, this government has failed consumers. Labour in government is committed to delivering a renewed consumer agenda which will ensure consumers get value and quality and fair and speedy resolution when things go wrong. I move the motion. Guramagiv.